Hi guys, it's Erin from Ginger's Florals. Do you see the sunshine behind me? This weekend, it's Friday today, the 15th. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous all weekend long. Sunshine, almost 70 degrees, which is unheard of around here this time of year. But we're gonna take advantage. I received a shipment of bare root roses a couple days ago. They're from David Austin Rose. I'm a huge fan of their roses. That English garden rose, the full cupped flowers, just full of petals, and the colors, and they're just gorgeous. They're my absolute favorite. I already have, if you've seen my rose videos before, you could see I already have 4 there. We planted a couple here, and I have them dotted around our property as well. This time I got 2 Boscabels. They're probably my favorite of all of the roses. That deep, sort of a real deep pink color. I'll put pictures up, but it's a deep pink color and it blooms profusely. Once they're established, I have one over here that's been sitting there for a couple years now, and it puts out so many blooms. I got one Lady of Shallots, which I already have one over in the corner. There's a Roald Dahl, a Woolerton Old Hall climbing rose that I'm going to put over, I'll show you, in front of the house. And then the last one is a Queen of Sweden that I'm going to put up here in the St. Francis garden, because it's just a really beautiful soft pink, and I don't necessarily want to cut that one. I just want to enjoy it. So the tools that I'm going to use today is I'm going to use the big 9-inch auger. Hopefully my battery's charged, otherwise I'll grab a shovel. I have rose tone to put in the hole, and then this is some organic fish fertilizer. Sorry, the light's going to be weird because it's behind the trees a little bit. It's organic fish fertilizer that we just got delivered, and I'll put some of that in each of the holes as well. So the thing about bare root roses, it's the easiest, least expensive way to ship them, and it's not bad for the roses at all. So you can see here, I got them a couple days ago. Sorry, I'll get my shadow out of there, but I kept them in this wagon, and it was full of water, and they were all in there soaking. They get pretty dried out on their travel across the country, from England, I guess, to here. So they needed at least 24 hours. I gave them a full couple days to soak and rehydrate the roots. And then after that has had a chance to happen, we dig the holes. You want to make them at least as wide as the roots where they splay out. So that's why I'm going to use the auger. This ground is fairly soft, but it just makes a better, softer, easier route for the roots to spread. We will plant them. I'll show you I'll plant them up to, let's see. I'll plant them up to right about here. Just a little ways below where the branches come off. And then, yeah, they'll be good to go. There's a couple things to keep in mind that you can, if you have a root that's, say, like this one, if you can see that. It kind of, the rose sits like this, but the root, it's coming up. I'm gonna clip those off because I really want all of the roses to go down and away. But it'll be fine. So a little word about this bed that I'm going to put them in. So as you can see, I have a whole bunch of daffodils that came up. I intended, or attempted to, last fall, to move all of my narcissus over here. As you can see, I got the vast majority of them, but clearly I missed a few over there. So instead of digging them up and moving them right now, which isn't ideal, I'm having a heck of a time with lighting. instead of digging them up right now and moving them, I'm gonna let them bloom out, do their thing. I'm just gonna plant around them, the roses. If I nick a couple or pop a couple up, it'll be fine. And then after their leaves die back later this season, I will pick those ones up and move them over here with all the rest of them. But in the meantime, we're just gonna be a little bit careful on trying to avoid as many of them as I can. Okay, so I am going to set up a camera and I'll just show you as I go the different steps on how I get them planted. I'll probably do one slow and then I'll move through the rest of them. When you use these augers, you want to give it a good wide stance and make sure that it's very tight. Check and make sure. Don't be afraid to cut some of these roots a little bit. It's better to trim them off than it is to let them curl out. Nope, gotta go a little more. And that's the Boscabel, one of them. You see it's buried slightly below where it branches off, but still buried deep enough. Now I'm gonna set up and do these other three, and then we'll move on to the next couple. All right, that first batch is done. The two Boscobels, Queen of Sweden, and Roald Dahl. They're all happily planted in here. I did lose a couple bulbs during the process, but I planted it back. We'll see if it takes. So now I'm gonna go set up for the next one up here at the St. Francis Garden. Can I show you real quick though? Check this out. These are just gonna burst open here any minute. We're so far ahead of the normal season this year, but that's okay. I'm just gonna embrace it. I'm gonna film a garden tour here in the next well, this weekend. It's the middle of March. I do it every month, so be on the lookout for that. There's a lot of things that are coming up and starting to bloom, and it's pretty spectacular. Okay, on to the next spot. Okay, this is where we're gonna plant the next one. It's gonna go right in here. You can see the Dusty Miller I need to cut back. There's some lamb's ear and a little cypress. I had put a whole bunch of tulips in here, but unfortunately, I don't know if it was squirrels or voles, but something dug them all up and ate them. There's only a couple, like this one and one right here that's still there. All the rest of them are gone. Yeah. It didn't take them long to seek them out and dig them and eat all the yummy bulbs. So I'm just gonna set up a camera and plant this one. It's exactly the same as the other ones. Dig a big enough hole so that all the roots can fit in there. A little bit of rose tone fertilizer, some good compost, and then bury it in and it'll be happy. This one is all planted. If you hear that buzzing, it's this little thing. They're supposed to ward off moles, but they don't. So this is my Queen of Sweden. I don't think that I had said that earlier, but that's where it is. I actually put the Desdemona over there because I wanted the pink out here in the garden. We do have another David Austin right here. It's called the Pilgrim. It's another climbing. The goal is for it to climb up onto this trellis that John built last year and hopefully have lots of soft yellow blooms that'll go lovely with the soft pink blooms from the Queen of Sweden. Okay, so excuse me. The last one is the Woolerton Old Hall, and we're gonna trek over there to the front of the house to get that one planted. And the last spot that we're gonna put the hanging rose or the climbing rose is right here. This is the front of the house. As you can see, there's Winston. Right here, and it'll grow up this trellis. I have to put some wires across to help it go up, but it should get 12 feet tall, and this is roughly 10 feet, so it'll go up and come over a little bit, but the idea is that there's several side canes that will come off, and I'll train it to bloom that way. This, you can see, it's on the north side of our house. It has all the hellebores, and we have hostas and whatnot that will come up back here. Right now it's in the shade. It's winter time. It doesn't get a whole lot of sun until later in the day, but in the late spring, well, later spring and summer, it gets full hot afternoon sun. So this rose should be really happy there. So let me get it into the ground. And that's the last one. Hi, Winston. She's right here. Woolerton Old Hall. There's a lot of rocks and different issues in the way here. I have some cleaning up to do. Put everything away. But for today, I think that's pretty good. We got 6 roses planted, 2 Boscobel, 1 Desdemona, and 1 was it Lady of Shalott over in the cut flower garden. We got Queen of Sweden out in our St. Francis garden, and then Woolerton Old Hall right here in front of the house. I'm real excited over the next couple of years. So excited to see how these fill in, especially the climbing rose. I'm a huge fan of climbing roses, and I've got a couple other ones. There's one over here, and then one heading into the big flower fields. And I still have not gotten around to pruning them. But maybe that's something I can get done this weekend. If I do, I'll film it. If not, yeah, it'll just wait. They'll be fine. Especially climbing roses, they bounce back real quickly every time you cut them. So that's gonna do it for today. I've got some other projects planned. I'll film those later. I've got 400 lily bulbs to plant. The field, John's getting ready to get on the tractor and move all that fish compost back into the big field, and so we can get that tilled in and prepped. And then we'll be off to the races. Once that's all ready, all I need to do is string out my irrigation, test it, and then put down the weed block and start planting. This weekend, obviously, it's still, what, 4 weeks until our last frost, so we can't plant anything, any warm season plants yet, but I have lots of sweet peas and snapdragons and stock and all kinds of other stuff that absolutely can go in the ground right now, and they'd be happy to. I have lots of perennials too, like lupin, yarrow, different stuff that will be happy to live in the garden at this time of year, and I need to get them going. We're ahead of the game from last year. Last year it was so cold and dreary that we didn't get this far until mid-April, so we're a month ahead, which makes me really excited. The farmers market starts in about a month, and I think we'll have flowers. I'll do the garden tour this weekend, and you'll see the ranunculus they're huge, getting ready to bloom. The anemones are blooming like crazy, and the tulips, yeah, there's lots going on. So I'm glad you guys are here. If you like this video, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.